It's time to put the good in your morning. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Today, travel in 2021 looks a little different, but we're going to run you through all the things you should consider before you take off.
And away we go as the thunderstorm activity will roll in for the duration of our morning into the afternoon. We'll break down our severe weather threats from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And caregivers helping caregivers? That's right. We're going to bring you Freeman Support Group information that's helping those who help those the most. The KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 starts right now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Colorado massacre suspect Ahmed Alissa is expected to make his first court appearance today. Investigators continue to search for a motive in the shooting that left 10 dead at a Boulder supermarket. CBS News has learned that Alissa's mental health is being looked at as a potentially significant factor in the rampage. It's an image that's going viral, but the story behind the picture is creating some serious issues for businesses around the world. A massive ship is stuck in the Suez Canal, completely blocking it and shutting down one of the world's most active trade routes. Panama flag container ship MV Ever Given turned sideways, blocking all traffic in the busy waterway. Some reports blame high winds for the shift in position. More than $3 billion worth of cargo pass through this Egyptian channel every day. But today, ships carrying everything from medical equipment, oil, and food can't get through. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt is running for U.S. Senate. Schmidt announced yesterday that he's making a bid for retiring U.S. Senator Roy Blunt's seat. Schmidt faces a primary against former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens, a former Navy SEAL officer who rose quickly to become governor before scandal forced him out of office just a year and a half into his first term. Schmidt, in a written release, pushed his conservative credentials and rallied against the radical left. Schmidt was appointed Attorney General after Senator Josh Hawley left the seat to join the Senate. Voters gave Schmidt another term as the state's top attorney in 2020. St. Louis community loses a hockey legend. Bob Pleaguer is dead after a two-vehicle crash yesterday on Interstate 64. Local police say Pleaguer was rushed to a hospital from the scene, but did not survive. The Ontario native was a member of the St. Louis Blues inaugural team during the 1967 season. He suited up for the Blues for 11 of his 14 years in the National Hockey League. After hanging up his skates, Pleaguer still was part of the Blues in various ways, including head coach and special assistant to the general manager. Pleaguer, who ranks 7th in Blues history with 615 games, was 78 years old. Arvest Bank yesterday announced branch reconfigurations. And part of this reconfiguration, Arvest will close 31 of the bank's 270 plus branch locations this summer. The bank also plans to deploy 38 additional ATMs with live teller machines throughout its network. These machines allow customers to have face-to-face communication with Arvest tellers via a video screen and complete more types of transactions than a traditional ATM. They also offer standard ATM capabilities 24 hours a day. You can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com to see the full list of banks closing. President Biden is set to hold the first news conference of his presidency this afternoon. CBS News will air a special report covering the event from the White House. In addition to the pandemic, it's likely the president will face questions about the economy, the border crisis, and gun control. Google is offering a hand for students trying to tackle homework. This comes as many students nationwide have spent at least some time with remote learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The tech giant is unveiling 5 search tools aimed towards helping with the learning process. They include an interactive feature with nearly 1 million practice problems in math, chemistry, and physics. Users also have access to educational overviews and videos. Right now, these features are available in English worldwide, but there are plans to expand this program in additional languages.
That's really cool.
That's the video that they want to send us for that story about covalent bonds and chemistry.
What video did you have in mind?
Jesse, I'm an idiot.
Your point? No, what's amazing, Google's been making this effort over the past few years to try to expand on different topics. So if you type in a word, it's not just search results. It'll actually give you, like you often see now, definitions and breakdowns of those things, even the Latin roots of words. So it's really cool they're expanding that because naturally kids are using Google.
I knew that one behind Tanya. I knew that was covalent.
It says chemical bonds.
Yeah, I did know that one.
We need to go over your study guide.
No, that's why I tell Caitlin. I'm like, you're on your own, kid. You have surpassed your father in chemistry and math. I have to Google stuff to look it up for her.
Oh boy.
It's been too many years, Michael.
What?
Just put your rain slicker back on and move on.
The only thing I get, thank you, Mom, for being an English and American lit teacher. That's the only thing I can hang my hat on.
Yeah, chemical bonds were never really a household topic.
No, my mom would be looking at me right now, telling me to look it up on the internet. She's
right.
like, I don't know, Michael, go look it up. However, do you want to talk T.S. Eliot? I'm like, no, I want to talk weather. Live look outside the mothership where we've got our barometer that's been falling, our humidity increasing, and light rain. We saw just a little bit pre-daylight hours here outside of Television City. It's a cool one out there. 48 degrees is where we stand as the wind is now shifted in from the east-southeast. Got this band throughout the northern portion of southeast Kansas, and we're awaiting more as it creeps in from northeast Oklahoma. Temperatures really aren't going to move too much today because of our heavy cloud cover, but it's going to be right here on the east side of the Mississippi. For as far as the continental United States goes, that's where we're going to see the most action. As this moves off to the east, all ours is going to roll from Texas up through Oklahoma. So we've really just kind of started our action. It's going to get heavier and more intense here as we make it through the later morning hours, looking at anywhere from about 3/4 to an inch of rain. This would right here for the afternoon, that's going to bring us the heaviest rain and also too thunder and lightning. Our biggest threat's going to be how much water can the ground hold. Wind and hail shouldn't be too much of an issue, but coming off of our flood warnings from last week, not going to be surprised if number one, we don't see several of them reemerge along our rivers, or number two, existing ones extended through the weekend. Tanya and Jesse.
All right, well, up next, we're going to tell you about the possible side effects of the COVID vaccine and in what cases you should contact your doctor.
And a new development in Bitcoin causes the value to shoot up. We're going to have that in the next half hour. You're watching the KOAM Morning News right here on Fox 14.
A new poll shows most parents are worried the pandemic is making their kids fall behind in school. According to the poll from the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy and the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research, 69% of parents are at least somewhat concerned their children will face setbacks. 42% say they are very or extremely worried, and 64% of parents say they're at least somewhat concerned in-person instruction will lead to more COVID-19 infections. Last week, the CDC relaxed its social distancing guidelines in schools, allowing desks between students to go from 6 to 3 feet. After receiving the COVID-19 vaccine, you may get potential side effects. Cassie Fambrough spoke with a doctor to help explain what side effects are normal and which ones you should contact your doctor about.
Soreness at the site of injection, or sometimes redness or other symptomatology at the local site.
The Alabama Department of Public Health has been tracking vaccination data, including side effects, since December when the first doses of vaccine were administered. Dr. Karen Landers says that severe after effects are extremely rare, but there are some common flu-like reactions reported.
And some people may have fever or chills or fatigue or muscle aches or joint aches.
Those icky feelings after the vaccine usually only last 24 hours. But if they last longer, you should call your doctor.
They could have some other illness. We've had people contract COVID after their first dose of vaccine.
All three current vaccines have generally the same risk of after effects, but she says again, it typically does not last very long.
That was Cassie Fambrough reporting. Well, patients planning elective surgery should get priority for the COVID vaccine, and that's the recommendation from a new study funded by the National Institute for Health Research. Surgery patients are at a much higher risk of catching COVID, especially patients 70 and older. And the study says vaccinating surgery patients could save more than 50,000 lives. Curiosity almost killed a cat in South Florida on Wednesday. The cat was perched at the end of a pole about 50 feet above the Intercoastal Waterway in Fort Lauderdale. What was it doing? The Florida Department of Transportation was called out to use a special boom truck to try and reach the kitty. They blocked off 2 lanes of traffic on the Causeway Bridge, and Marine Patrol stopped boat traffic below the bridge while crews worked. But as soon as crews got close to the feline, it got spooked and the cat made a run for it. Good news is it seems safe for now because the cat was spotted lying in the shade of another light pole near the bridge.
Wait, we have this massive undertaking with cherry pickers and we're stopping boats and we've got ambulances and 8 different rescue departments out there and they didn't even get the cat. The cat just turned around and came the same way that it got down to the bridge.
Yep, this is the kind of drama and stuff they have to deal with in Florida.
Or Germany or Ohio.
Or, yes.
Right.
Well, in the Suez Canal, there's an actual
boats just stuck with
boat that's just stuck
keeping
side to
billions
side.
of dollars of material goods from moving.
Cut off the trade routes and people are having to take their boats all the way around Africa.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Not yet, hopefully.
But satisfaction brought it back. Remember that one. Current conditions outside the mothership right now, 48, what's up?
Checking that one off my list. Curiosity killed the cat.
But satisfaction brought it back. That's the old man saying list that Tanya keeps. And it actually is a true list, folks. Sometimes I can see her eyes get like saucers when I say one of them. And she's like, oh, I got to take that off my list.
Ooh, 2 in one day.
Mid to high 40s right now. More importantly than our temperatures, let's talk rain because we are underway. So a little storm track up there. It's on the other side of Kansas City, but it's all eyes down to the south as we look at what's going to generate along the Red River. And we got a flood warning that's been extended all the way to Saturday night. Earlier, that rain was over the Osage, and that's why that time just keeps on getting pushed back and back and back. And we're going to have more rain over our rivers, to say the least, here by the time it's all said and done. As the Gulf moisture comes out of North Texas through the Sooner State and on us. This right here is going to push off to the east through northeast Arkansas. The Boot Heel, they're going to have severe weather through portions of Tennessee, Arkansas, and Alabama. This is about 10 days after they had that tornado outbreak, and that gives you a good indicator right there from the severe thunderstorm risk map. We're looking at anywhere from 3/4 to an inch of rain lasting from right now till, say, about 4 or 5 o'clock this evening, and thunder and lightning picking up around the noon hour. After that, Friday and Saturday looking good. Scattered rain chances and much warmer temperatures. Be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. This morning's spring break sweepstakes code word is morning, M-O-R-N-I-N-G. So all you have to do now is go to KOAMnewsnow.com/code word, enter morning, and you are eligible to be in the drawing to win some great prizes from our very good friends at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort as part of our spring break sweepstakes. So once again, there is your morning code word of morning. Make sure if you don't get it in right away, make sure that's entered by 8 a.m. Do me a favor, get that done. And remember, we got 1 day left. We're going to roll this again tomorrow. Now, over to Jesse in Studio K.
Well, it's a Med Day Thursday, and this morning we are joined by Jennifer Berry. Jennifer is a social worker with the Freeman Geriatric Center. And Jennifer, thanks for joining us this morning. I want to ask you about the caregiver support group that you're spearheading here. Can you sort of explain who is benefiting from this program and what caused you guys to decide this was something that Freeman wanted to start doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are approximately 65.7 million caregivers. That is about 29% of our adult U.S. population. So after learning that information and attending several sessions on caregiving, our team got together and discussed what caregivers go through and how important it is for them to have support in addition to the individual they're providing care to.
What are some of those stresses that you guys have identified, and what are some sort of I don't know, I guess, how can sharing those stresses be helpful in the process? Because I know there's a wide range of scenarios in which people are caregiving. So what have you guys seen, and how does sharing that make it a little bit easier?
Yeah, so caregiving can be challenging and stressful and even overwhelming at times, not only physically taxing, but also mentally and emotionally. And throughout my years as a social worker in the healthcare field, I've witnessed the impact that a caregiving role can have on an individual. I've had several even report feelings of guilt, as if they feel like they can't do enough or wish they could do more. And I'm always having to remind them that not only are they balancing their own lives, but they're balancing the huge responsibility of a caregiver. And they're doing just the very best that they can. And it's so very important that they hear that, because it's so easily forgotten.
Right.
And, these individuals, they need support, camaraderie. They often need reminded of the importance of self-care. And sometimes they just need to feel normalized, needing to know that others too have or are struggling with this role.
There's so many benefits to this, clearly. So these meetings are every third Thursday, and it starts this Thursday, so March 25th. So we'll have that info on our website. Jennifer, thanks so much for sharing the information about this. And it sounds like it's a phenomenal effort that will definitely continue on way beyond the pandemic and everything else.
Yes, we hope so.
Hey, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. We'll have that on our website. We'll be right back on the KOAM Morning News right after this.
It's free.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero. Seaman First Class Bob Lett served in the Navy from 1944 to 1946. Lett served in the Pacific Theater, including the Battle at Okinawa. His hometown, Parsons, Kansas. We thank you, Seaman First Class Bob Lett, our four-state hero. The number of available homes in the area is not keeping up with the demand, making it difficult for some buyers to find their dream home. 53 new house permits have been issued so far for the 2021 fiscal year in Joplin, and that's compared to a total of 45 for the entire 2020 year. As KOAM's Chris Warner explains, despite the new construction, it's just not keeping up with the demand for new housing.
Charles Burt of Charles Burt Realtors says the market in Joplin is good, with many prospective buyers looking for new homes in the area. But that good market is creating a problem.
The problem that we're running up against is that there's just so many buyers out there and not enough listings. Listings have just plummeted, mainly because they've been sold. And so we're in the mid 300s right now as far as available homes, where I would say 5 years ago it was probably 1,200.
That's talking existing homes, which Burt says are like gold right now.
They're into multiple offer situations. Everything that comes on the market has 5 to 10 buyers for it. So it's almost like a bidding situation for any new home. So I don't think I've ever remembered that, and I've been in the business 51 years.
However, the lack of available homes has led to a boom in another industry.
Because of the fact that people can't find existing homes, a lot of them are picking the new construction because then they could have it built. The issue there is that, once again, you can only build them so fast.
Joplin City Planner Troy Bolander says that boom comes with its own problem.
Joplin, it is getting tight for residential lots. We do have some residential plats that are coming in and being approved by Zoning Planning Commission and City Council, but the inventory is getting tight in Joplin.
And Burt says there's a problem within that problem.
It's then becoming a problem that our prices have just accelerated. Lumber prices have over doubled in the last probably 6 months to a year, which is amazing. I've never had that happen.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, a nursing home in Michigan is turning to robotic pets to combat seniors in isolation. We're going to show you the impact that's had coming up.
Itching to go to amusement parks again? Well, why not build one in your backyard? You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Colorado massacre suspect Ahmed Al-Alisa is expected to make his first court appearance today. Investigators continue to search for a motive in the shooting that left 10 dead at a Boulder supermarket. CBS News has learned that Al-Alisa's mental health is being looked at as a potentially significant factor in the rampage. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt is running for U.S. Senate. Schmidt announced yesterday that he's making a bid for retiring U.S. Senator Roy Blunt's seat. Schmidt faces a primary against former Missouri Governor Eric Greitens, a former Navy SEAL officer who rose quickly to become governor before scandal forced him out of office just a year and a half into his first term. Schmidt, in a written release, pushed his conservative credentials and rallied against the radical left. Schmidt was appointed Attorney General after Senator Josh Hawley left the seat to join the Senate. Voters gave Schmidt another term as the state's top attorney in 2020. Well, it's an image that's going viral, but the story behind the picture is creating some serious issues for businesses around the world. A massive ship is stuck in the Suez Canal, completely blocking it and shutting down one of the world's most active trade routes. Panama flag container ship MV Ever Given turned sideways, blocking all traffic in the busy waterway. Some reports blame high winds for the shift in position. More than $3 billion worth of cargo passed through this Egyptian channel every day. But today, ships carrying everything from medical equipment, oil, and food, well, they can't get through. Crawford County Health Department is hosting a second dose clinic at the Fairgrounds today. Again, this is only for people who have already received their first dose at a clinic at the Fairgrounds last month, or they've already received their first dose. If you need a first dose, you can register with the County Health Department online. The St. Louis community loses a hockey legend. Bob Pleaguer is dead after a two-vehicle crash yesterday on Interstate 64. Local police say Pleaguer was rushed to a hospital from the scene but did not survive. The Ontario native was a member of the St. Louis Blues inaugural team during the 1967 season. He suited up for the Blues for 11 of his 14 years in the National Hockey League. After hanging up his skates, Pleaguer still was part of the Blues in various ways, including head coach and special assistant to the general manager. Pleaguer, who ranks 7th in Blues history with 615 games played, was 78 years old. Australian authorities in the country's most populous state said yesterday that most flooded rivers had peaked, but flooding should continue for several days. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian also said that 20,000 people have been ordered to evacuate from their homes amid the flood warning. She told reporters in Sydney that rainfalls had eased and that the state is unlikely to face adverse weather conditions for another week. But she warned residents floodwaters were still dangerous and said some communities had not seen this amount of rainfall for up to 50 or 100 years. Insurance companies expect the damage in New South Wales to exceed $1 billion Australian dollars, which is about 760 million.
It's 12, 13 days of straight rain that they had. Wow. 12, 13 days where it would not stop. Now, we've still got a flood warning of our own, but obviously nothing to that extent, thank goodness. Outside the television city, overcast skies. We picked up a little light rain. Every now and then we get a raindrop that'll hit the sky camera, but we've yet to really pick up. We're going to do that later on this morning through the afternoon hours. It's going to be widespread for everybody, so our temperatures sit from the mid to high 40s right now. This is where we'll see the majority of the severe action. This is going to work from northeast Arkansas and the boot heel of Missouri across the Mississippi and push its way to the east. What we'll concentrate on for our highlighted counties is going to be coming out of North Texas across the Red River and then up through portions of Arkansas and Oklahoma, right along the state line. That's where we're seeing it grow. It's starting to pick up right there on the south side of I-44 toward Tulsa. Still got that line. Haven't picked up any lightning or storm reports as of yet. And so really ours is going to be how much rain can our saturated ground handle. We're about 2.8 inches up, not only for the month, but also for the year from where we'd historically be at this point in time. And that's why that flood warning right over the Osage River with morning rain already filtering down into it has been extended to Saturday night. So we'll probably see some extensions of flood warnings and also to the reemergence of some that we had for last week as well. A pretty good band As far as how far that it lasts, once again, it could be worse if we were to push off to the east, and that's illustrated by the severe thunderstorm risk map there, where it's actually almost the imminent portion of it. You know, you get past the red, indicating the high, and they're just going to have a long morning. They've already started their severe weather, and it's going to take them into the night. Now, we'll be done by the nighttime. As this filters up, pick up some heavy rain, lightning at the noon hour, but then say about 7, 8 o'clock, we should be done. Everything moves off to the east and we begin to clear out. And that's also going to be a chance to take a deep breath, assess the situation, and then get ready for some warmer temperatures, almost 70 degrees there on Friday and Saturday. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. Today is International Waffle Day. That's right. I couldn't make it up. What is the day that you and I...
April 16th.
I just found out April 16th is National Eggs Benedict Day. It's just amazing. Anyway, our question is, what's your favorite breakfast? We just tried to, make it simple. And so on the KOAM News Now Facebook page for our Something to Talk About this morning, Rick Norton with a good morning KOAM crew in Pittsburgh, America. We say good morning, Rick. Rick goes with eggs, bacon, hash brown, lots of bacon, please, club member. Jeff Bishop, you have scared me. Jeff will dance for biscuits and gravy, but it's the picture. And Jesse just rolled his eyes at you.
It wasn't a Jeff. There's no way that Rick is getting up every morning and making that kind of a meal. That is the most impressive thing. If he's able to do that, I respect Rick, but that...
You're just going to dodge Jeff Bishop on the pole, aren't you?
Well, tell him to just go watch the pole dancing segment, or the pole fitness segment that I did last year.
Collie McGuire, eggs over easy, bacon, make it crispy, toast hash browns, and of course that brown elixir that we all call coffee. And Cheryl Calhoun likes it all. She likes pancakes. Jesse, she likes a certain kind of pancakes.
What kind, Michael?
Cheryl specifically wants blueberries.
Jeff, I'm going to comment with the story that we did on pole fitness on there, after I tell you about this. That's a fantastic morning talker. Are you having fun with it?
No, Cheryl did a marvelous job setting me up on that. All right, I'll do code word next. That's how I'm leading the control room.
All right.
Just because I'm just making up stuff on the fly now.
Cool.
I'm giving the thumbs down now.
Okay.
Because our incomparable producer, Liam, he doesn't like it when I make stuff up on the fly.
Okay.
Right.
So let's not do that.
So no code word.
They just dissolve. You
are now in charge of the show. They probably cut off my microphone.
Well, imagine being able to walk outside of your back door and into a mini amusement park. That's a reality for one teenager in suburban Atlanta. Ben Toliday built his own roller coaster. You are hearing me correctly. And for the first time, he's enjoying the ride without having to wait in line. Vern Peterson reports.
Ben Toliday never thought he'd one day be a test pilot, but somebody had to do it.
I was absolutely terrified, but I guess because I built it, I knew how sturdy it was, so I was pretty confident that I would be okay. But yeah, I was screaming my head off. It was crazy.
Seems like a natural reaction to the roller coaster Ben built in the backyard of his family's Sandy Springs home. With his own two hands, over just 3 weeks, he put together a collection of 2x4s, PVC pipes, cinder blocks, and sandbags, and constructed the car.
It's on casters, and we've got 3 sets of 4 wheels. We've got 4 that go on the top here to hold it on the top. We have another 4 on the side here, and then another 4 underneath. I'm ready.
Even his mom went for a ride. She's proud of what her son has created, but she wonders, when is it coming down?
I'm looking forward to getting my yard back. I've got some plants which are trying to grow through underneath it. And this is not going to be a permanent fixture in my yard, I can tell you that.
Ben's roller coaster has gotten thousands of likes on social media. And just maybe, the soon-to-be college freshman will go into business.
That would honestly be my dream job, to build stuff like this for people and then see their reaction when they go down it for the first time. But yeah, I've had so much fun building this thing.
All right, we'll talk more code word maybe when Michael gets back. I don't know. But we will be back with a business minute right after this.
The CDC advises against travel over the spring and summer in an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19. But after more than a year of the pandemic, many are eager to take a vacation. In today's Consumer Watch, Mandy Gaither has what you need to know if you plan to travel in 2021.
As more vaccines become available, more Americans are expected to travel.
People are going to venture out.
The CDC still recommends avoiding non-essential travel, but if you do take a trip, AAA's Jeanette McGee says to ask questions before booking.
If you're planning vacations at a hotel and are excited to use the pool may or may not be open. Hotel restaurants may or may not be open, as well as health facilities.
Hotels may also have new protocols like virtual check-in, and if flying,
not all the in-flight amenities are going to be available. So are food and beverages available for you? That's something you need to contact the airlines to understand.
AAA says road trips are always popular over the spring and summer. The agency expects this year to be no different.
It gives you the convenience of your own car, you decide who you're traveling with, where you're going, and when you're stopping.
But beware, AAA says gas prices are climbing and may continue to be through the summer.
Today's national average is $2.87. It's the most expensive price we've seen since actually May of 2019.
And if you do venture out, AAA says it's a good time to have a travel agent.
They can help you navigate travel insurance if those are options for you. They can help you understand what's open and what's not, both domestically and internationally.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
CDC recommends taking a viral COVID-19 test 1 to 3 days before a trip and to keep a copy of your negative test results with you during your trip. The agency also advises you to get tested again 3 to 5 days after you return and self-quarantine for 7 days. A dozen state attorneys general are calling on social media sites to be more proactive against COVID-19 vaccine misinformation. Facebook and Twitter are challenged to fight against conspiracy theories, lies, and hoaxes might be influencing people in regards to the vaccine. A letter sent to the CEOs of both companies cites research from the Center of Countering Digital Hate and Anti-Vax Watch, showing that a small number of anti-vaccine accounts are responsible for lies about safety of the vaccines, which have reached more than 59 million on various social media sites. Facebook has said it has taken down millions of pieces of misinformation. Cryptocurrency fans can now add a big ticket item to the list of things they can buy with their digital fortunes. On Wednesday, Elon Musk announced on Twitter that you can buy a Tesla using Bitcoin. The automaker has stated that they will not convert the Bitcoin into regular currency. The price of one Bitcoin climbed to over $56,000 shortly after Musk's tweet. That's more than an entry-level Tesla Model 3. With a little more than 2 Bitcoins, you could purchase Tesla's most expensive vehicle, the Model X, which runs for around $120,000. We'll be right back after this.
A nursing home in Michigan is turning to technology using robotic cats and dogs to help comfort seniors isolated from family and friends due to the pandemic. Ingrid Kelly has more.
Has forced nursing homes to make tough decisions.
Nobody could get in, nobody can go out.
As safety prevailed, so did isolation.
The toll on the residents was an increase in depressive signs and symptoms in a lot of our patients. Especially our alert and oriented patients.
So when West Bloomfield Health and Rehab learned that it was one of nearly 30 nursing homes in southeast Michigan that would receive robotic companion cats and dogs designed to help alleviate isolation and bring joy, this community was overjoyed.
This is Cookie. Does a lot for me. It makes my day.
Especially from a comfort standpoint. Again, they don't have the comfort of having families come in. They lost the comfort of just touch.
These robotic pets are lifelike and interactive and are making a huge impact. With a state grant, the Area Agency on Aging 1B has distributed these cuddly robotic pets to the nursing homes.
We are making efforts to reduce social isolation and to enrich the lives of the residents who live there. Residents have been in isolation for over a year without seeing family, friends, and as a result, we've seen an increase in depression, anxiety, insomnia.
In addition to the robotic pets, the agency is also delivering other items like therapy dolls, tablets, and music players that play recordings that can help residents recall happy moments from their past.
It most certainly takes me back.
Without these companions, some of these residents admit life was difficult.
Terrible. He brightens up the day. He makes me think there's something good going on today.
To learn more about the Area Agency on Aging 1B's initiative, go to fox2detroit.com. These residents say they're grateful for this program and the difference it's making.
Y'all are thinking about us, and I appreciate it, and that's a wonderful idea.
Michael, I do want to sort of talk about how that can have such an impact, only because a few years ago, as part of a community service project where we went and we were doing a game night and dancing at a nursing home, and we played a modernized version of Glenn Miller's "In the Mood."
Yeah.
And everybody got up. Didn't matter how old, how young. It got everybody up because the tune. I mean, it was ultimately the melody that instantly connected with anybody who had ever heard it. And it's such a catchy tune that it sort of united the room in a beautiful way.
And so I have to ask the logical question: did you and Jen get up and partake and dance?
Jen was not there.
Did you get up? I mean,
oh yeah. I can show you pictures. Actually, I could probably pull these up, but it was a blast. It was
That's
so
tremendous.
Much fun. Yeah, it made a huge difference. It was with me and the university volleyball team. We went and we were there and doing sort of a game show style thing.
That's great.
It was a blast. Pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to anything like that,
and now I'm going to have that song stuck in my head for the rest of the morning. All right, Jesse, live look outside at Television City, overcast skies. It's chilly, and we've got some Thursday morning showers. Hasn't developed into any thunderstorm activity as of yet. That's subject to change, though, as we keep our eyes down to the south. Look at that, coming out of southern Oklahoma right there. This is going to be the national one that we're going to keep, everybody's going to keep their eyes on that one. They're only 10, 11 days removed from that tornado outbreak that they had through portions of Mississippi and Alabama. They find themselves in the heart of it again on this Thursday. Our rain beginning to intensify down to the south. This is what we had earlier. It really didn't amount to too much, and it's not going to be too bad by the time we get to the evening hours, but we still do have flood warnings. This one specifically along the Osage River that's been extended all the way into Saturday night, and we've picked up additional rainfall in that area. So not going to be surprised if we don't have some of those flood warnings that we had last week come back into play. The big thunderstorm activity right along that line right there where the cold front meets the cooler air from the Gulf. And we've got, that's the portion I was talking about as far as the big national perspective. We find ourselves, the portion of southwest Missouri, just in that minimal area. Winds haven't been too bad, have shifted coming in from the east right now, and temperatures stuck in the mid to high 40s all day long. This is the key factor. It's going to be around the noon hour. That's where we get the heavier rain, looking at 3/4 to an inch, and that's also going to bring us some thunder and lightning. It will back out by the time we get to tonight, and clearing off after that with warmer temperatures, much warmer temperatures, on Friday and Saturday as we push up into the 70s. We'll be back and wrap up this edition of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Crawford County Health Department is hosting a second dose clinic at the Fairgrounds today. Again, this is only for people who've already received their first dose at a clinic. Now, if you need a first dose still, you can register with the County Health Department online. President Biden is set to hold the first news conference of his presidency this afternoon. CBS News will air a special report covering the event from the White House. In addition to the pandemic, it's likely the president will face questions about the economy, the border crisis, and gun control. Colorado massacre suspect Ahmed Al-Alisa is expected to make his first court appearance today. Investigators continue to search for a motive in the shooting that left 10 dead at a Boulder supermarket. CBS News has learned that Alisa's mental health is being looked at as a potentially significant factor in the rampage. Let's check in with Michael with the first with a final look at your weather.
Thursday morning brought us March showers, but that's going to turn into some thunderstorm activity here by the time we get done with the afternoon. Lighten up here probably about 5, 6 o'clock. But to give you an idea, we're picking up 3/4 to an inch of rain here. Look at that coming down around the noon hour. Pushes out to the east. Luckily, we got warmer temperatures headed our way on Friday and Saturday as we're up around 70.
Well, also, if the Crawford County Fairgrounds vaccine opportunity, if you don't have your first shot yet, you can go on our website, koamnewsnow.com/vaccine, and we have every resource imaginable on there for that.
Yes.
So that's on there as well. Well, hey, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning.
We will be back with more news and weather when we see you at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.